Great, welcome. This is loud. My name is Scott. I'm part of the project team for Radiantx, which is taking the blockchain nuclear. We hope that you find the presentation as exciting as that. So let's get to something that is commonly discussed in blockchain, the supply chain. And we're going to try and make this sexy for you and exciting for you as well. What does the nuclear supply chain look like currently? So we've got a lot of participants, and this is where we'll kind of understand our use case. So we've got vendors and supplies, which are approved or unapproved, transportation companies, manufacturers, assemblers, raw material providers, as well as transporters. And as you can see through this bubble, I mean, they all interact. In some cases, you may have fuel bundles, which are radiating materials being transported into the power plant. You may have raw materials being transported again back to the power plant. And as we continue on, you're seeing a little bit more of a complicated structure. Not unlike a lot of blockchains, but the nuclear power industry is quite significant. And again, there's an absolute web of what could happen. So the supply chain is one thing, and the number of vendors and suppliers are another thing, but what kind of information do we need? We need vendor information, they need product information, the location and product transfer of the goods, environmental variables, as well as regulatory documents. And all in all, this equates to thousands of intermediaries, thousands of transactions, and there's no transparency or trust. So to further move out from this problem as well. So we have a current state. Current state is the nuclear supply chain is extremely complex. There are thousands of parties, regulations, jurisdictions, as well as processes. It's quite inefficient, and by inefficient I mean in terms of acquiring data, it can be quite cumbersome. And any highly regulated industry, you have problems in acquiring data. Certainly when you have vendors who go out of business, you have tenure histories involved, it becomes very difficult, and they are regulated and audited all the time. We're talking daily, so the understanding of having information right at your fingertips is important. And of course that leads to the other concept. When it's so complicated, you have poor product tracking. It can be poor. There are items certainly in the nuclear industry which aren't as poor. And real-time monitoring is designated for only specific purposes. Why? Because it's just too complicated. There's too much involved. And this results in lost time, safety, and problems as well as risk, and cost. And we all know what cost can do for business. So Radiantx, what do we provide? So we're an end-to-end supply chain efficiency solution which combines IoT and blockchain for the nuclear power industry. And that's exciting, right? Well, you will see hopefully by the demo. So we also provide IoT sensor data, we monitor product health in real time. We use state-of-the-art IoT technology distributed to a blockchain to monitor items, environmental items such as humidity, temperature, radiation, and location. And we can do others as well. And this results that we're able to review important and relevant information which can be reviewed at any time. But that's not all. We also want to recall historical trends and retrieve key product documents and information. So this provides a user-friendly tracking dashboard. This is what we provide, connected to the Radiantx blockchain to retrieve detailed product information, such as trending, vendor details, and transfer details. And what does this result in? It results in authenticated members can review product details very quickly for purposes of audit review, root cause analysis, or other purposes. So, look over there. Come on over. Okay, so here we have a mock-up of perhaps a product website, consumer website. Perhaps you are a power generating employee, a power plant employee, and you say, I need to track an item. I come to the Radiantx dashboard, and I have a website. So I just want to see, I'll just kind of scroll down a little bit and see what we've got. We've got some stats on blockchain, the nuclear industry, and what kind of industry it offers, what blockchain offers, what kind of opportunities are for Radiantx to solve your problems. And we're using a hyperledger, of course. And on the way up, you see the dashboard preview. And being an authenticated member, I, of course, have gotten the qualifications and signed the proper documents by my employer to make sure I can access this. We have come to the Radiantx dashboard. So we have this distributed in three kind of columns. So on this column here, you've got the products and vendor information. It could have documents such as discovery documents, certification, regulatory documents, as well as links to other places. We actually have a map, and we can get to that in a little bit. And we also have, the other side is the environmental measures as well. And again, we can customize this according to our customers' needs. If you were perhaps a power generating employee, you would actually see all of it. There may be items you can't see as part of a different member of the chain. So let's try and track an item. So I'm from Canada, and this is an actual real-time scenario where we may trace a product. So let's go down to select the product. And let's say we want to find product, I don't know, product 200 is a fuel bundle. All right. Wow, okay, so wow, we've got a lot of data available. So here I am sitting at my computer wondering, what's happening to this product? Okay, I'm seeing the temperature actually spiking. That's not good. Perhaps I've got well, in this case it's a fuel bundle, but I might have another item where that's really important. And the humidity and radioactivity, everybody don't be alarmed. We're in Europe. This is in North America, you're fine. So yeah, so here we are, and we finally finished our route from Ajax to Pickering. And we noticed, wow, we can actually go back and discover what's happened on this blockchain, or what's happened on the route to see if there's been any problems. As a power employee, what I could do is actually follow up with the vendor, follow up with the transportation company to see what happened on that route. So if you look at here, alert high temperature, I think it was 36 degrees. Some people like that temperature, I know I don't. And so you could take a look at that and say, okay, I can trend that, and depending on your parameters on how you want to spread out your the time, you can actually see where it spiked. In addition there, you've got in the middle there, we can see that there is a high radiation. And just so everybody knows, that doesn't happen very often, but it still needs to be monitored. And to the very end, we can actually see where they arrived. And if you want any more information, we can go down to the left side there. And if we've got some opportunities to search for companies, vendors. In theory, you have hundreds, perhaps even thousands in the end. Certainly not in this iteration, to discover where products were, what vendors were allowed to be involved in certain transactions, and where they were. Great. So why blockchain? And we used a bit of an algorithm to discover, okay, we know supply chain works. We know that that blockchain is well suited to supply chain, but let's kind of really take a look. And so we found that, is there a need for a shared common database? Yes. Are there multiple parties involved? Yes. Are they conflicting incentives? Absolutely, because you've got different vendors with different quality standards and such. Governing participants are not uniform. It's absolutely, we need to make sure that those values aren't changed and the transactions along the way aren't changed. And the rules don't change because it's highly regulated. You try getting a policy changed in any big industry, it's difficult. Great, so the market size is huge. I think actually, I was looking at this 205 billion, I think that's actually conservative. Right now, there's no currently known blockchain solutions being utilized in the power industry. I know that for contacts I have in the industry, as well as some research we did while we were here. And the customers are actually the nuclear power plants and the vendors they interact with. It goes right from raw materials all the way down to the actual power plant. How would we make money? Would we sell it as a software suite? It's an entity as an access to permissioned blockchain. We'd also offer training services, so we can support your services. So we'd sell the actual product. You can phone us and we'll be on site and we can talk to you about how to better use your services, and we can customize it accordingly. As well as IoT lease and buying of devices. I think that's also an untapped part, certainly in an industry where they're constantly buying and selling goods. Barriers, it's a heavily regulated industry. I mean, it's anything that's heavily regulated is slow to move in new technology. That is certainly something we are considering. Oops. And the competition. Competition are centralized databases, current infrastructure already. It's highly complex and difficult to navigate, and they also offer other services as well. So you have to see where the benefits and the pros and cons on that end as well. Not certainly, I don't think it's a hill to die on for sure. And so what is it? What Radiantx? We fill a need for the nuclear power industry. Using blockchain IoT, it's innovative, it's secure, and it's really efficient to connect collected data to the end user. Future roadmap, we could build a mobile app, integrate QR codes, NFC devices, as well as different dashboard views as well. And you can customize that according to the customer. And thank you.